If by your art, my dearest mother, you have put the wild waters in this rower, I lay them. The sky seems to pour down a stinking pit, but that the sea, mounting to the welcome street, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel, who had no doubt a noble creature in her, dashed out to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the author air. It should the good ship so have swallowed, and the fretting souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your Peter's heart there is no harm done.
Oh, woe the day.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who are ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospera, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater mother.
More to know than never matter with my thoughts.
Pluck thy hand. Lend thy hand, and pluck my magic garment from me. Wipe thou thine eyes. Have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in my heart, so safely ordered, that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an hair beat to any creature in the vessel which thou heardest cry, which thou sawest sink. Sit down, for thou must now know further.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, or stop it, and left me to this bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hours now come. Canst thou remember a time before we came into the cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, madam, I can.
By what? By any other house or person?
Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hast, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? If thou rememberst, out ere thou comes here, how thou comes here thou mayst.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since thy mother held the dukedom of Milan and its princely power.
But are not you my mother?
Thy mother was Duchess of Milan, and thou art my only heir and princess.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that came from thence, or blessed was we dead?
Both, my girl, both. By foul play, as thou sayest, were heaved thence, but blessedly hope hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the thing that I have turned you to, which from my remembrance. Please you, father.
My brother and thy uncle, called Antonio. I pray thee mark me that a brother should be so perfidious. He, whom next thyself of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state, thy false uncle. Dost thou attend me?
Madam, most heedfully.
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance, who to trash for overtopping, thou attends me not.
Oh, good madam, I do.
I pray thee, Mark me. Like one who, having into truth by telling of it, he made such a sinner of his memory to credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke, hence his ambition growing. Thou attends me not.
Your tale, madam, would cure deafness.
Me, poor woman, my library was Dukedom large enough. He confederates with the King of Naples, to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbound, ale poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Tell me if this might be a brother.
I should seem to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. The King of Naples should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honors on my brother. Whereon, one midnight fated to the purpose, in the dead of darkness, the ministers of the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Luck! I not remembering how I cried out them, will cry it over again. It's a hint that rings mine eyes to it.
Here a little further.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Dear, they durst not set a mark so bloody on the business. In few, they hurled us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to the sea, where they prepared the rotten carcass of a butt. The very rats instinctively have quitted.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubim thou was, that did preserve me. Thou didst smile with a fortitude, when I have decked the sea with drops full salt.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity did give us. So of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from my own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
But I might but ever see the man.
Now I arise. Sit still, and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profited than other princes can, who have more time for vainer hours, and tutors not so careful.
Heavens, thank you for it. And now I pray you, madam, first to disbeat in my mind your reason for raising the sea stone.
By accident, most strange, hath my enemies brought to this shore. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good illness. Give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant. Come. I'm ready now. Approach my Ariel. Come.
Oh, hey-yo, great master, hey-yo. I come to answer thy best pleasure, but to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong beating task, Ariel, and all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest I bade thee?
To every article I boarded the kingship. Now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin aflamed amazement. Sometime I will divide and burn in many places. Topmast, yards, Bowsprit would have flamed distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight a running or not. The fire and cracks of sulphur is roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege. Make his bold waves tremble. Yep, his dread tried and shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason.
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then all fired me, the king's son. Ferdinand, with the hair up staring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped and cried, "Oh, hell is empty, and all the devils are here."
That's my spirit, but was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
Where are they, Ariel? Safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. And as thou bast me in troops, I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son I have landed by himself. My left cooling off the air. Sides in an odd angle of the isle. His arms in the sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariner, say, how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet?
Safely in the harbors the king's ship. In the deep nooker once that called me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vax Bermuth, there she's hid. The mariners, all on the hatches stowed, with a charm joined to the suffered labor, have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet, they all have met again in a upper Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing that they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there is more work. What's the time of the day?
Past mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee. But thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now? Moody? What is thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, I remember, I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakes, served without a grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bait me a full year.
Hast thou forgot from what a torment I did free thee?
No, madam.
Thou dost.
No, madam.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop?
No, madam.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
In Arger, madam.
Ah, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgettest. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischievous manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, for Arger, thou best knowest, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Yea, madam.
This blue-eyed head was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Then, my slave, was thou, as thou reportest thyself, thou, my slave, as thou reportest thyself, was then her servant, and for thou was a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hest, she did confine thee into a cloven pine. within which wreath imprisoned thou didst painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died and left thee there.
Yes, madam.
Thou best knowest what a torment I find thee in. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I will rent an oak, peg thee in his knotty entrails, till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be corresponded to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so, and after 2 days I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go, make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to not sight, but thine and mine invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take the shape and here come in it. Go, hence with diligence. Now my charms are overthrown, and what strength I have is mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true, I must be here, confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom God and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair unless I be released by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free.
La la la.